Woo! What's going on, guys? Owen Swarm coming at you guys today again with another video. And today's video is about Lions Twitter again. I need to start coming up with some type of name for Lions Twitter fan base when they trigger me, because I get triggered. You guys know how it's all about. You guys know what it's about with me. I get triggered pretty easily when it comes to this fan base, and Lions Twitter is no exception. There's certain guys in there that just have this delusional way of thinking when it comes to this team per se. Now, this subject is on the Lions wide receiver room. Now, if you know, and I'm not trying to be this guy, but I'm going to be this guy a little bit. But there's a guy on there called Mike Dumas, man, and man, I love this guy's passion. He has a passion that's unmatched as a Lions fan altogether. But he comes up with these crazy notions, man. We've gone on it. We've gone into it in the past, big time. And lately, he's been a little bit better. But I'm talking maybe like a couple months. He was getting a little bit better. Going when the season finally ended, he's getting better. Super Bowl ended. Now he's starting to act a little bit like this crazy Homer delusional fan again. He's trying to tell me that this wide receiver room is people are talking about it's very underrated. Now, if you're anybody out there, you know how this wide receiver room is. This wide receiver room is trash. It's not good whatsoever. Our number one wide receiver going into this year, 2022, is a fourth round rookie that I don't want to use the word overachieved, because I think he does have exceptional talent, but he was overlooked by 32 teams four times. He went into the fourth round. Now, he is a great talent. He did what he did. 90, I believe he had, what did I write this down? He had 90 catches, 912 yards, and 5 touchdowns. For a fourth round rookie, that's amazing. Okay, he came in and he put up wide receiver one numbers. That's what he put up. Okay, he put up great numbers. Now, we don't even know who is going to be in this wide receiver room going into 2022. Josh Reynolds, still a free agent, came over from the Tennessee Titans, familiarity with Jared Goff from LA. And Reynolds had 19 catches for 306 yards, 2 touchdowns as a Lion. I believe he had maybe 10 catches as a Titan too. So he had about 29, 30 catches altogether, but 19 catches as a Lion halfway through the season. Okay. And then our second leading guy, he was like our third guy, Josh Reynolds. And Khalif Raymond, who we got from, been on a plethora of teams: Denver Broncos, New York Jets, New York Giants, Tennessee Titans. He's been mainly used in that 5-year period. I believe he's been in the NFL 4 or 5 years before we took him, before we grabbed him as a free agent. I believe he had was it 15 catches? I think I'm spitballing there. I'm not 100%. Maybe 15 to 20 catches altogether in 5 years. Okay, in 5 years. So when we grabbed him, everybody was thinking, okay, what are we going to do with him? Where's he fit? I'm like, he's a special teamer. He's a kick return, punt returner. He's going to come in probably as a number 5 on this team. And we'll see where we go from there. He ended up becoming literally a number 1, number 2 option at one point in the year. He ended up with 48 catches, 576 yards, 4 touchdowns. He's a free agent too as well. I believe he's a free agent. I don't think unless he signed a 2-year deal. A 2-year deal with Detroit. I kind of don't remember that. Probably should have looked that up, but oh well, I didn't. But I think he was a 1-year guy, but doesn't matter. But he played himself into more money, I would say. When we got him too, the opportunity, when I talked about Khalif Raymond, I was like, that's what he is. He's a 4th, 5th option guy with maybe the possibility of becoming a number 3. He's got speed to burn. He's a good special teamer. He's this and that. He's a good football player. he can do some things a lot of players can't, but he's still a fourth or fifth option and he's a special teamer. But I said in this wide receiver room, 2021, he was going to get opportunities, and he did. He got huge opportunities, injuries, lack of production, and so on and so forth. He became a bigger option because this wide receiver room was terrible in 2021, and he ended up earning himself some money. I think he could probably be a number 3 in the league now. I think he kind of played himself into at least a number 3. I don't think he's anything higher than that. Number 3 could be pushing it too as well. We went out and decided last year, Prashad Perryman, who I said would probably never make this team, and he's been absolutely abysmal as a first-round wide receiver his whole career. He's had maybe 5 or 6 good games in the time that he's been in the NFL. He's played for numerous teams, Baltimore Ravens, Cleveland Browns, New York Jets, Washington, who I don't think he even suited up. Then he became a Detroit Lion. There's another team in there somewhere, I think, but he didn't do anything for maybe just 5 or 6 games in Tampa Bay. That's what it was. He had those 5-6 games where he lit it up and looked like a wide receiver 1. Antoine Randall was over there in Tampa. We ended up hiring Antoine Randall as a wide receiver coach as well. Dan Campbell brought him over, and Antoine Randall brought him over. It was kind of like that shot in the dark. $2 million later, that $2 million went bye-bye, and he went bye-bye. And I think he ended up playing for Chicago, and then he got released by Chicago. Then he ended up on Tom Brady's team. He was on Tampa Bay, made a couple plays over there, but didn't do anything really during the year. I think he had 1 big touchdown in Tampa Bay, and that I think was an overtime touchdown from Tom Brady in the Bucs. A guy that was another failure. Tyrell Williams, another guy, had some talent but has some injury concerns. Comes in, first game, what's he do? He gets lit up by Jaquiski Tart, I believe it was, the safety from the San Francisco 49ers. Done for the year. IR, gone, concussed. Possibly, I think, maybe even done for his career. I heard it was that bad of a concussion. Prayers up to Tyrell Williams. But another failure, bringing in a guy. It was a roll the dice type of guys with Prashad and Tyrell. Not even mad about those guys coming in because we all kind of knew what 2021 was going to be. Then we had to go out. We were hurting. We went out and made a trade for Trinity Benson. He's been an absolute failure here. 10 catches. As a Detroit Lion, benched for a couple of games, running wrong routes, not being the guy that he was kind of labeled to be when we first acquired him. Denver media was all over this guy. Denver fans said we got a steal, that we got a really good wide receiver. It's just that there was no room in Denver because of guys like Jerry Jeudy, Tim Patrick. Who else is over there? They got Noah Fan at tight end. They have a lot of weapons. There's just a ton of weapons. Cortland Sutton being another one. So they had room to get rid of him, and we ended up giving up a couple draft picks, got one back, and he was a complete failure here. Tom Kennedy, 6 catches on the year, didn't do nothing, and I don't even really want to talk about Sage Surratt and Javon McKinley, 2 guys that had 0 catches but were undrafted free agents, but couldn't crack a really bad lineup in Detroit. Yes, they're rookies. Yes, they need developing, but they couldn't even crack this lineup in 2021. And now I'm not saying that those guys are terrible because I still think we have McKinley on the practice squad. Sage Surratt, not 100% sure on. But 2021 was a mess. We ended up grabbing Kadero Hodge as well, who had like 13 catches or something like that. Played good special teams. Made a couple chain moving catches, but nothing to write home about. Just a bad 2021 wide receiver room, and we're going in, and then we're going into 2021 still with Cephas. He had about 15 catches, 204 yards, and 2 touchdowns in 5 games. Ended up getting hurt, collarbone, I believe it was. So another guy that was supposed to make a step from his rookie year didn't. Got hurt because of it. Okay, so if you were to equate or average out his catches, he probably could have had about maybe 50 catches, 600 plus yards, maybe 6 touchdowns if you want to equate 15, 204, and 2 touchdowns to 17 games. Rounds out to about that. So then 2022, I'm told that this is the most underrated wide receiver room in the NFL. It's a very underrated room, and guys like me are not giving it a chance. Well, why should I? Why should I? Quintus Cephas is still a question mark. We don't know what's going to happen with him. We don't know what's going to happen with guys like Josh Reynolds. Are they going to re-sign him? Are they going to re-sign Khalif Raymond? You got Antoine Randall stating at the Senior Bowl that he wants 2 or 3 new faces here in that room. That speaks volumes to me. He's not throwing anybody under the bus. He's not saying names, but he's telling you they need talent because there was not talent here. So nobody is underrating this Detroit Lions wide receiver room going into 2022. Not one person except you, Mike Dumas. You're the one doing it. You think this is okay. This wide receiver room needs new faces via free agency, via the draft. They have to bring at least 2 new guys in here. If they want to surround St. Brown, Hawkinson, if he's a part of this future, and DeAndre Swift, if he's a part of this future, which I think those 2 guys are as of right now, you need more than just those 3 guys, especially in the wide receiver room. You know, you need help around Amon-Ra St. Brown. You got to get guys. There's guys like David Bell who's out there from Purdue. Jahan Dotson could be an option. Romeo Doubs from Nevada. Jameson Williams, who's kind of fell from a top 15, got injured, could fall late into the first, possibly second round. Who knows? And guys like George Pickens, another early first round pick or mid first round pick that probably going to slip because he had some injuries. Played at the end of the year though in Georgia, played in the national championship, made a couple nice catches. So who knows what happens to him? The combine's still coming up. But don't tell me that this wide receiver room is okay, because it's not. It's far from done. No one's underrating them. And if you're overrating them, then you got problems right there. Because don't do it. Don't overrate this wide receiver room. Just because Amon-Ra St. Brown caught 90 balls and 900 plus yards last year, it does not mean it's a guaranteed lock to happen again. You can't always find that type of talent in the late rounds. That's very rare to find a wide receiver like that blew up like that. Because at the beginning of the year, he didn't do much at all. It took guys to fall. It took guys like Josh Reynolds, coming in later. It took guys like Cephas going down, Khalif Raymond not being who maybe they thought he was supposed to be. So it took a little bit for Amon-Ra St. Brown to gel. It took for Dan Campbell to literally pull the playbook away from Anthony Lynn and throw him up in the booth. It took a promotion of Ben Johnson from tight ends coach to offensive coordinator, passing attack coordinator for guys like Amon-Ra St. Brown to succeed. Now, we have all that in place, it seems like. Right? Ben Johnson is the new OC. Don't really know who's going to be calling the plays, though. Is it going to be Dan? Is it going to be Ben? Don't really know just yet. Whatever they were doing, I think, last year, though, they need to kind of keep that, I think, going. Unless Dan Campbell can fully trust Ben Johnson. And you're hearing nothing but praises about Ben Johnson. So this wide receiver room isn't close to being done. Isn't close. It's not underrated. They're still bad. It's still a really bad wide receiver room. Bottom of the barrel. 25th and lower. Just because you got one guy on there and a bunch of other question marks does not mean they're an above average wide receiver room. There's nothing above average about this wide receiver room. It's a bad wide receiver room. It's below average, very below average, almost to the point of terrible. It's still terrible. Now, you can sit there, you can guzzle that Kool-Aid, you can do whatever you want, you can convince yourself that this wide receiver room doesn't need help. You're not convincing me. You can't convince me. Get some help for Amon-Ra St. Brown. Get some help for the quarterback, whoever it is, Jared Goff, rookie quarterback. I don't care, but get help. Don't let it just be Amon-Ra St. Brown in there. And I don't think Brad Holmes is going to do that this year. He saw what was out there. Dan Campbell saw what was out there. It was problematic, especially at the beginning of the year. You know, you brought a couple of guys in, you promoted a few guys, like I said, and it turned around a little bit. You get a little more talent in there, you sprinkle in some talent, you Salt Bay a little bit of talent, and come on. That's what we need to do here. But don't overrate and don't underrate this wide receiver room, because this wide receiver room is abysmal. It still is. That's the video, guys. Thanks a lot for paying attention. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to hit the subscription on the description on the bottom right. Subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to hit the notification bell in the top corner. And don't forget to like and comment. It's all about the likes and comments. Let's get at it. Boom. Let's go. Go Lions. Boom.